Today we're going to unpack my large Gucci Ophidia Tote. I've just come back from a meeting and I will be switching out my purses. So I thought, since I have so much stuff in here, I wanted to show you exactly what fits inside it. I will be switching it out to this other purse here. This is the Louis Vuitton Ophidia Tote in the MM size. Let me know if you would like to have me review this bag. I've had this bag since 2013. It was originally produced in 2011 and it was a limited edition. They only made so many and I've had it since then. But anyways, I like to switch out my bags because I don't like to carry too much stuff. All right, so what's in this giant bag right here? And I'm gonna move stuff out of the way here. First off, this is my MacBook Air and it is the 13.6 inch size and it fits beautifully in there. Well, first, before I do that, let me just show you how full this thing is. Whoa, sorry. Yeah, so that was fitting in there. And I have the iPad mini. I had this with me in case there was a little bit of lag time. I wanted to be able to watch movies and videos and things like that. I didn't want to necessarily use my phone. So I do carry my iPad mini with me often. The other thing that I carry with me is a sketchbook. Believe it or not, I love to make art, all right? And I do all kinds of stuff, you know, doodles, whatever. I just like to keep myself really busy. And yeah, so that's what I do right there. I'm not fancy. I'm not an artist at all. I just like to stay busy and just be creative. Anyways, the other thing I have in here is a kind of like a pencil case. This is something I just made out of my kids' old board shorts. And yeah, I just cut up the fabric and put a zipper on it. But it holds all of my my pens and pencils that I use for when I sketch. Usually, believe it or not, I will carry a whole other bag if I am going to be gone for a while. I'll carry acrylic markers too for any kind of coloring that I'd like to do. But anyways, that's not what you're here for. The other thing I have here is a Gucci Ophidia wristlet. And this I've had for 7 years. And I actually did an original review of this wristlet 7 years ago and I still have it. Now, the only reason why it's in here is, believe it or not, it's too small. I can't fit my iPhone in here. This is an iPhone 16 Pro Max and it doesn't fit in here, but what I use this for nowadays is just like an everyday makeup bag. You could see here, it doesn't hold a whole lot, like some powder, lip balm, lipstick, a brush, you know, face brush, and a little mini travel size lip gloss. I love to get these because I like to keep them with me in this little everyday carry makeup bag. Anyways, I'm gonna move that there. And this is a small little bag. I'm almost done, believe it or not. This is a small little bag that I have. It's by Eagle Creek and it's like one of their nano or mini size packing cubes. And what I hold in here are just SD cards and like these little dongles. So I keep that in there and it goes with me wherever I go. I have one for the camera gear and like the SD cards, and then I have one for chargers and watch chargers, but I don't have it in this bag. I usually keep that one in my backpack. All right, I'm gonna zip these up because I don't want anything falling out and making a mess. The other thing I have in here, a charging cable. And this is the super long one. I think it's definitely more than 6 feet. I think maybe 10 feet, I don't know. But it's really long. And the reason why I carry a really long cable is because I am not about to sit on the floor to charge my devices, and you never know how far away an electrical socket is. So I carry a charging cable, and somewhere in here is the charger thing. whatever it is. So anyways, I just carry these two things with me during the day so I can charge my phone, my iPad, and my MacBook Air if I need to. And I don't always travel with my MacBook Air. I just happened to be at a meeting, so I wanted to bring it with me. But usually I always have my phone and maybe my iPad mini just for other things, all right? And I have mint, garbage, wrappers, and receipts. A little thing of lotion. I always decant my lotion into these tiny little jars so that way I'm not carrying the giant tubes from Bath and Body Works. And I have gum, wrappers, and a hair claw clamp type thing. All right, so that's all that really fits in there. I don't think I have anything in this side, in this zip pocket here. It's empty. And here in this little side pocket here also, this is completely open, and I don't have anything in there. Now, if you would like me to talk about the wear and tear of this bag, keep watching, because that's what we will talk about right now. And what I'm going to do is show you on the side here, I'll have the video of up close photos or images that I took just to show you what this bag looks like now that I've had it for 4 years. If you would like to watch the video of the original review, I can link that in the cards above or at the end of the video. But anyways, I've had this for at least 4 years. This is what it looks like. It still looks beautiful. It looks great, and I do use this really regularly, more often than I use any of my other totes, because what I like so much about this bag is that it is wide open, and the interior lining is light colored, so I'm not having to dig through a dark purse like this one. I know for a fact I'll use this purse probably about a week, all right? But I know that I'll eventually get so frustrated because it's black on the inside, and it's going to be really hard for me to find stuff. So I know after a week I'm gonna switch it out because I'll get so frustrated. And then I'll probably go back to this bag. But I make it a habit to try to switch out my bags so that I'm not carrying too much stuff in it. It just so happened that today I was like, okay, we're switching out today, and I might as well film it as I unpack this bag. But obviously not all of these things will fit in this Louis Vuitton bag. Anyways, let's get back to this guy here. The reason why I wanted to go over the wear and tear of this bag is because in case you are interested in purchasing this bag full price, you might want to see what it looks like with regular use over 4 years, you know, how it fares. And I will tell you, it looks beautiful. I'm not that hard on my bags. In other words, I'm still pretty careful. I'm not just gonna set it down on the ground. You know what I mean? I'll set it on a table or on a chair. I don't just throw it in my car. I'm still careful, but I wouldn't say I'm overly careful, but I do respect my things. I'm not just going to destroy them. All right, so let's first talk about if you are in the market for purchasing this bag, Preloved, it might be a good idea to watch this video, because then you'll see exactly what I'm talking about, what to look for, you know, in case you are in that market. If you want to purchase this bag full price, certainly now you can get an idea of the wear and tear over the 4 years. Now, first of all, there is no odor to this bag. I'm not a smoker. I don't, you know, put any kind of perfumes or anything like that in my bags that could possibly spill. But if you look at the leather trim all the way around here, you see all the way around here, and you'll get a better idea on the side images, but the stitching looks beautiful. The leather doesn't look like it's cracking or deformed or anything like that. It's not warped at all the way around. The leather trim on the outside, and the adhesive to connect the inner trim, this thick band here, the glue that they use to connect the two, as well as the stitching, it doesn't look like it has weathered at all. It doesn't show any signs of separation or weakness in the adhesion. The stitching is all still intact. It doesn't look like there are any loose spots or anything like that. Now, if we look at, let's take a look at the handles here. Now the handles here, again, all made of leather, and it comes down into these little darts right here that are all stitched here, connected by these gold rings. And it doesn't look like there's a whole lot of wear and tear. And let me tell you, I weigh this thing down a lot. I don't, like I said, I don't always carry my MacBook with me, but I will stuff this thing. I'll put like jackets in here, water bottles, you know, I'll really stuff it. And it doesn't look to me like the leather handles here, especially right here where it's sewn right there. I hope you can see that right there. It doesn't look like the glue or the stitching has loosened at all. It looks actually quite well. Both sides, both the back and the front. Now, if we take a look at the metal pieces here as well as the logo here, the logo, the GG here and the metal, it doesn't show a whole lot of wear. It hasn't discolored or, you know, it doesn't really patina. I wouldn't say that. There's no scratches on it. And it doesn't look like, you know, like it's loose or anything like that. It's still pretty much intact, just like the day I received it, all right? Now, when you are, if you are looking at this Preloved, one of the things that I want you to really look at is this webbing here, because this webbing is fabric. And this bag does not have feet. You see the bottom of it right here? There's no feet. And so this webbing whips all the way around like this. And so because there's nothing that protects the bottom of the bag, this is the area here where you could have some fraying in the webbing and the stitching. And for me, I don't have any loose gaps or loose stitching anywhere here in the front, especially down here in the base and on the back right here. The corners look absolutely beautiful, despite the fact that I have overstuffed this at times and really put the seams here, down here and up here. I put a lot of stress in them, you know, just by overstuffing it. And also I've had my kids carry it, so they're not exactly, they're boys, and so they're not gonna be the most gentle with bags, you know, so I'll tell you that the seams here on the sides and down at the base, they don't have any wear, or it doesn't show any kind of loosening or gapping here on the sides right there. Now, if we look on the inside, well, first of all, we'll take a look at the tab right here. The tab is here because it is a magnetic closure, so you can just kind of pull it apart like that. And this tab closure right here, still a powerful magnet. It doesn't look like the stitching, even though, you know, it naturally attaches very easily. So it doesn't, let me turn it around like this so you can see it right here. You would think that there would be a weakening right here in the where they come together, and I don't see anything like that. Same thing with the tab here. You know, like if you have a piece of leather and you've got like a straight corner like that, like a square corner like that, a lot of times what can happen is the corners here can get damaged, or they kind of curl up with repeated use. And you see mine here, even though I've had this for 4 years, and I've used the magnet, obviously, because it just naturally attaches just like that. It's a strong magnet. It doesn't, you know, the corners here doesn't show any wear. It doesn't curl up, you know. And usually if the leather is really thin or a little bit inexpensive or lesser quality, the leather will kind of curl up a little bit. It'll soften too much. Now, if we look at the interior here, the inner trim here of the leather, again, I don't show a whole lot of wear on it. No scratches. This leather that they use, that Gucci uses, is actually quite thick and durable. So, you know, you don't have to worry about like lambskin leather like this one right here. I'm overly careful with this bag. One, because it's all embroidered, and two, it's lambskin, so it tends to scratch. I have some Chanel bags that are lambskin, and they've gotten destroyed, scratched. So, you know, just to let you know that lambskin is just a little bit more delicate versus the leather that this bag has. It's a lot thicker, more durable, and what I like about it is it's thick and it holds its shape. You know what I mean? The thing is like this is canvas, and so it slouches. You see what I'm saying? It's not going to hold itself up. It's going to fall over, all right? Unless you have something inside it to weigh it down, it's going to kind of fall over. And when it's on your shoulder, whoops, when it's on your shoulder here, it will kind of slouch a little bit if you've got heavy things inside it. All right, now let's take a look at the interior lining here. Like I said, if you want a more detailed review of this, you can take a look at my previous review 4 years ago, and it'll talk a little bit about the lining and what kind of fabric it is. But anyways, this is what it looks like after 4 years of regular use. You see here, and I'm gonna pull out the lining here, I only have a little bit of kind of markings here, and I'm sure I've never actually gone in here to try to remove these. These are just kind of like smudges, and I don't even think that it's anything that's going to be permanent, but I've just not really had any time to really take care of this bag or clean it or anything like that. But despite the 4 years of repeated use, of regular use, I just have a few marks right here, probably food or snacks or something like that. Lining these patch pockets here on the side. The stitching on it doesn't look like it's loosening, and also here on the corners, it doesn't look like it has loosened at all with use. And the interior lining, the stitching here on the side, on the sides, are still really tight, fully intact. Down at the base here, at the bottom, this bottom stitching here, again, still nice and tight. And look, so you know, one of the things in all of my videos, I'll always talk about how important stitching is, because if you are purchasing a pre-loved bag, or if you are purchasing a brand new bag, make sure you check the stitching. Go through the entire perimeter of the bag and make sure you look at the stitching. If it looks like, you know how like sometimes you can run out of thread and you can start over with a new thread, if you see that, get a different bag, all right? You shouldn't see that. You should see one continuous stitch, all right? You should see no change in the thread. It should be the same consistent color. Here, you see how beautifully stitched this is. You see how it makes that X right there, that cross. So you have a horizontal line here, seam, and then another one here, and it's beautiful. It's completely like a cross. I like that. So I check those things. I check the patch pockets, make sure that it doesn't have any loose strings. Not that Gucci would, but you know, you never know. Let's go back here to the back side here where there's the zippered pocket. The zippered pocket looks really good. This is the authenticity tag here. But yeah, not a whole lot of wear and tear in these pockets. I have a little bit of, I don't know, I think that might be candy, a little stain there, but overall it doesn't look like it's damaged or anything like that. Nothing that I couldn't go in and maybe wash with mild soap and water. The zipper, the zipper is still very much intact. What I love about Gucci bags is that the zipper does not catch. If you watch my other bag, my Louis Vuitton bag, it's the duffel bag, the bandolier, I think. Anyways, that bag frustrates me so much. I love using it, but the zipper drives me nuts because it sticks. And when you're in an airplane or you're traveling, the last thing you want to do is be fighting over, fighting against your zipper. The Gucci bags that I have, the zippers are all just, it's beautiful, it's butter, it doesn't stick, I love it. Same thing with this one here. You see it just glides beautifully, it doesn't catch. It's a nice thick zipper. The zipper tab is still fully intact here. It doesn't show a whole lot of wear. The other thing that you want to check on the zipper tab here is you want to make sure that the stitching here, because it's a frequent use area, just like this little tag here or tab. This right here, you want to be careful that the stitching isn't loose, because if the stitching is loose, it's going to come apart, right? And you don't want that, because this is a high use thing, and you want to make sure that the glue is good, and you want to make sure that the stitching is still good, that the thread here isn't fraying. You want to be careful with that. Same thing here. I mean, Gucci makes really good products. There are some people that just don't like Gucci. I like Gucci, I like Louis Vuitton, I like it all, you know. But it's been a while since I've received a designer bag. It's just not my thing anymore, although I still have all of my designer bags. I was thinking about reviewing some of my designer handbags because I keep them all because they are gifts, and they hold a value for me because they're like Christmas gifts, birthday gifts, or Mother's Day gifts. They're special, and so I don't sell them, but I have a lot of them. I don't really want any more. I have no desire to go and get the newest and latest bags anymore, but I do have really nice classic ones like these that are just, gosh, I hope you can see that. It is so beautiful, and this is one of my favorite bags, but it's just so delicate. That's why I don't use it as often. I use it, just not as often as something really durable like this. Anyways, I was thinking about doing more reviews of my older bags in case some of you are interested in purchasing them pre-loved. Maybe some things that you need to look out for, especially if they're like limited editions like these. These are kind of hard to come by, and you know, just whatever. If you guys want me to do that, I can do that as well. This bag, absolutely worth it. Absolutely. If I were to purchase another tote, and let's say I wanted a designer tote, would I go with this one? Absolutely. I don't quite know the current price of it. I know that through the years, they continue to increase the prices on all of these designer bags. I'm not sure how much they have increased in price, but if you can get this pre-loved without any kind of, you know, like funky stains or odors on the inside, I'd say that what a steal. If you're able to get your hands on it, you want to be able to run your hands over the canvas to make sure there aren't any weird bumps or lumps or cuts or scratches on the canvas, right? You want to make sure that if you look at it at an angle like this, that it's nice and uniform. It's going to have that canvas look to it, but you can usually tell if there's a scratch or a deep gouge or something like that. So make sure that you run your hands over the canvas, you know, on all sides if you're able to, especially here. Make sure you take a look at the leather, that make sure they're not separating here on the edges. Look at the stitching very, very carefully, and also look at this webbing here, this webbing stripe here. Look at the bottom, make sure that the stitching down here is fully intact. All right, hopefully this video was really helpful for you. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you for being here, guys. I love you. We will talk again soon. Have a great day. Bye.